Okay, we're going to remove the bypass shaft, which lifts the bypass plate up and down, and it's through there. The shaft goes right through this underneath, lifts it up and down during normal operation. So to remove this, we'll need to undo the top maintenance plate, and we'll start there first. Tools needed, your 10mm wrench, 4mm Allen key, a hammer, and possibly a wood chisel or something to remove because it is sealed and locked down. So we'll go through and do that. I'm using a drill with a 10mm socket in this case. For the video, I've already released this, so it's already done, but with the use of a wood chisel, just getting underneath it, and a small hammer, just tap that until it releases, and it will come off nice and easily. And that plate's removable, put it there. And we're going to now look at the bypass plate and the hinge for that, and remove that assembly. Now that we've got the top plate removed, we're going to release the bypass plate. And to do that, there is a guide each side. We'll just undo this side at this stage, which is the right hand side. I'm undoing these two screws. Once again, pretty much everything is 6mm threads, so it'll be a 10mm spanner required. It'll stop. Put that up there, and we'll undo these 3 screws holding the rod or the axle. So once again, use the same tool. Okay, that's that plate loose, so I'll just slide it forward. That's the axle, and the plate I'll just slide out of our way for now. And you can now see the small arm with the roller on the side, which we'll remove. So you need to undo this central screw. This is where it gets a bit tricky, so don't lose the axle through the fire. Just put your hand inside to catch everything. Save all your parts. This arm, the outer arm, has a square hole, and the inner one, which I've left attached with a screw at this stage, has a round hole, and that's part of the bearing on there. So I'll just let those fall down. So the outer washer, which is bronze, comes off, and the inner one, which is the bearing, that will slide through with the arm. So I'll just remove the arm, lift it up, push it all through, and there we go. That's the entire assembly. So it goes on there, and it's reverse procedure to put everything back again, and we'll cover any adjustments at the end of it in the next video. Okay, to reassemble the components we've just undone, we'll just go through these pieces. So we have a washer, we have the bronze bearing, of course, in the washer, and the pivot arm, which is stainless steel with a stainless roller that goes on the inside. So to reassemble, a little bit of copper coat on the bearing surface, put the bush on there, through the hole, just with your finger, we let the roller seat in the bottom of the fire. We'll then hold that in place with one finger, put the washer on the outside, we'll keep holding this. Now, picking up the assembly, just got to be careful to align it correctly. So we do want this rod arm to be vertical, so we're going to put that on there. It slides onto the bearing, that's nice. And we're going to slide the arm on. So inside with the arm, you can lift up the roller, the arm inside, and lift it up and down until that square sits in there nicely. Keep your hand inside, it's much easier. Tighten this one up. So with that secured, to check to make sure it is working correctly, everything must be free and moving nice and easily. So this arm's moving nice and easily. To check the central one, you're going to lift up the counterbalance weight and just lift it up and down. It should move very easily, and the shaft and the little roller inside, you'll see that all move nice and easily. If it's binding in any way with the screw tight, the washer may need to be adjusted or a new component added, but it must be loose. Once the bypass plate's been assembled, in this case it's not, but once it's assembled and the shaft put back in place in reverse order, we'll need to reinstall the cover or inspection plate. So use Mani-Seal with a gun with a nozzle and just put a small bead right around the entire periphery, lower your plate onto it and refasten these series of bolts you've got here. They don't need to be too tight. They just, when you nipped up, the Mani-Seal will spread out and that's just fine. Nip them up, job done, and then of course the cover goes back on and then you can test run the fire.